Welcome to the Fresh Patch Podcast, where we talk about everything from dog training to potty talk. It's time to save your rugs and get real. This episode is brought to you by Fresh Patch, featured on Shark Tank, Oprah, and The Today Show. And here are your hosts, Drew and Gabe.
All right, welcome everybody to the Potty Talk podcast. This is episode 10, and we have another special guest, but I will introduce myself first. My name is Drew, marketing director here at Fresh Patch, and this is...
My name is Gabe. I am the partnership coordinator, and as Drew mentioned, we have an amazing entrepreneurial guest today. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sure. Hi, my name is Pamela. I'm the CEO and founder of Pure Life Raw.
Awesome. Thank
Happy
you
to
for
be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining, and hope you've enjoyed your time so far. I know we got a little crazy with my dog at the beginning,
Yeah.
but Stella's working out and stuff. And if the camera can't see, but Zeus
Yeah, Zeus, come here.
is
Say hello.
He's under the
underneath
table.
the coffee table.
He'll make an appearance soon.
Yes, there we go. We'll zoom in on the snoot.
Whenever you're
but,
ready, Zeus. Whenever you're
but
ready.
we do have a dog guest as well, so thank you for bringing Zeus. We always love a good lab to be in our presence. So
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a
yeah.
chocolate lab. What can I say?
Yeah. Black Lab was my first dog, so any lab, I'm like,
Yeah, they're
yes,
great.
yes, they are. So cool. Yeah, we're just gonna dive in and talk about some questions towards your business and everything. And so yeah, thank you for joining, and we will get things started. Gabe, if you want to start us off with.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we were talking a little bit before we got on here, but you have such a cool story. So I think what we want to really learn about is like your story of like how your company came to be and like how you got into this field and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. The story really starts with me having two cats who I loved dearly. They were like my first pets of my own. And so I, was taking really good care of them. I did all the things, a new, like we were talking about, Meow Me would do. And my cats were very young, only less than 2 years old, and they kept getting sick. So what do? You take your pet to the vet, kept going to the vet, was getting prescription diets. Not only was it not working, it was making it worse. And so one day my cat Callie was like curled up in the closet, really lethargic, wouldn't eat, was vomiting, just really, really sick. And that day I was like, I need to figure this out. And I'm obviously not getting what I need from the resources that I have. So I dove into research, came across a very old school blog about raw feeding. And then I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, it's just as common sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What would our animals eat in the wild? Do that. Right? And so then I switched their diet to a raw diet. I was making the food all myself at first, and I used a couple different raw products. There was not a lot of raw products on the market back then because I started it before raw feeding was cool.
Ahead of the trend.
Yeah. And so, anyways, fast forward, I fed my cats. It was a 180. They were 100% better. Fast forward, I got a dog. He was on raw right from the beginning, and I was doing this all myself, and I was in the transition. So I used to be in corporate world marketing at this company called Saatchi. And then I was in between there and like my next move. And somebody had asked me like, what would you do if you could do anything? And I was like, oh, easy. Well, I'd have like a raw pet food company. And then he was like, so why don't you do that? And I was like, oh, why not? Right. So then I started it, and we started in like our converted garage, built out a kitchen, and started making everything ourselves in our own house. And then we grew from there and opened up the warehouse in 2019.
Man, that is so cool. And it's so perfect too, because like raw dog food diets are like you were saying, it's cool now. It's trendy. So kind of did it at like the right time.
Yeah.
So when was that the company came to be?
2017.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are what, 8 years?
Yeah, 8
in?
years
Wow.
now. Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank
Sounds
you.
a little familiar to Fresh Patch too, because there was a lot of garage, operations when this company first started too. So I feel like the best businesses start in the garage. Or
Yeah,
at
definitely.
the home.
Microsoft.
Yeah, Apple.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, congrats. That's really cool. And
Yeah.
you're local too, which is nice. I know when we found you too, I was like, oh man, I'd really want to talk to you because
Yeah.
we tried to do a raw food diet with Oakley and stuff, and it was just we didn't do it correct. Like we just went cold turkey and like we didn't like wean him off his other food, and it was just like, oh gosh, it got nasty. Like his poops weren't good, you know, and stuff. So we just stopped and went back to what we currently do and stuff. But yeah, we'll talk more after the podcast. I'm Camarillo too, so it's like it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's one of the cool things too, is that I offer consultations along with it's not just the raw pet food and we're like, here's buy this, we offer consultations too. And so that is really helpful to a lot of people who are kind of like going through trial and error and trying to figure it out. And then, you get the ongoing support of like, okay, let's troubleshoot together. What do you need to add? What should we remove, etc.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
So you had mentioned earlier that you had interviewed some veterinarians. Have you talked to them much about like the raw food diet and like just like the sort of scientific benefits of it?
Yeah, so the veterinarian that I interviewed, she actually recently moved to Holland, but she was working out at Calabasas.
That's a cool move.
I know. Well, her husband's from there, and she was like, I hate the way that they do things here, so we're moving to Holland. And we're like, I hear you, right?
You got room for one more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy you asked that. It's the main reason I interviewed her, because we were looking for like a holistic veterinarian who is well-versed or at least familiar with raw feeding, because the problem is that a lot of veterinarians, traditional veterinarians, are not familiar with raw feeding. It scares them. And unfortunately, the very few nutritional hours that they have are funded by big pet food.
Of course.
Royal
Of course.
Canin Science Diet. So, of course,
Yeah.
Yeah, but so the interview that I did with her, we were asking her, about what, in your practice, what have you seen with animals who are fed a raw diet, and how do you support that? And it was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's super cool. And it's funny that you mentioned like it kind of scares them a little bit, because I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, that doesn't seem right. Like I wouldn't eat raw food. Like, but then, like thinking about it, like you were saying, like what they would eat in the wild, I'm like, okay, that makes so much more sense. So it kind of took away that.
They ain't cooking anything in the wild,
Yeah,
they don't know how to cook. So.
Exactly.
They haven't gotten to the, the inventing fire stage yet.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Still in the Bronze Age.
Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome. Well, we'll just move down our list of questions. Going on with number 2, I'll take this one. Why should dog owners consider raw food for their dog? And what are the benefits?
Okay, well, piggybacking off of the common sense thing, I mean, it really doesn't have to get a whole lot more complicated than that. It's like if you want your dog to be healthy from the get-go, and, the goal is prevention, right? Because there are so many issues and health issues and disease in the pets with our pets, right? And so the goal is preventing all that. That's the main one. You want to feed them what they're designed to eat to prevent any of those diseases from being able to take over, or any other ailments. Another benefit, I'd say a human benefit, right? Your dog stinks less, your dog sheds less, your dog's poops are smaller and less frequent, their pee doesn't smell as bad. So those are like the human benefits of overall, like your pet is like less gross.
Those are great.
There he is.
Yeah.
Look at
Everybody,
him.
this is Zeus.
There's
Zeus.
Zeus, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Handsome guy over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say like that's the main thing. It's like preventing disease and setting your pet up for a very healthy, high quality life. Those are the biggest benefits.
Nice. No, well, those are great benefits, especially for the human too. I mean,
Yeah.
I know people would love that, but
Absolutely.
for the dog too. I mean, send them out to just be as healthy as possible for their entire life. And we want our dogs to live forever. I mean,
Right.
and you guys are doing that, at least prolonging that experience for dog owners and stuff. So that's really awesome.
And so you mentioned like prevention. So obviously, like it's best to start them off as puppies.
Yes.
As Drew mentioned, like sometimes there can be a sort of like transitional period. In your experience, like what does that look like?
So I actually found it interesting that you mentioned that with your dog. So most dogs do okay with a cold turkey transition. Not all of them do. Obviously, I'm curious to know, like, at what point you did it. Was it recently that you did that?
No, it's been a few months now, but
Okay, but he's what? How old is he?
he's 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So later in his life
Yes.
is my point.
Yes, yes.
So if you're feeding your dog, for lack of a better term, speaking in layman's terms, right? Processed food at some point. Every food is processed at this point. Even raw food is minimally processed, right? But so like kibble, dry food, wet food, even cooked food, all of it it's processed food, right? It's not in its raw form. If they're eating that for their whole life, then their like gut microbiome isn't as plentiful. The digestive enzymes in their digestive tract are not as plentiful. So the acidity in their stomach might not be as acidic as it naturally would be. So there's a lot of
Gotcha.
reasons that later down the line in their life, if you're doing a transition, their body's like, whoa, what the hell is this,
Yeah.
right? And honestly, that may happen for a raw-fed dog too. If you feed them kibble, their stomach might be
yeah.
like, what the hell is
Oh,
this,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But in the same breath, all dogs, some of them have like just an iron tank of a stomach and can take anything.
Yeah.
You know, we all know dogs like that. So I lost track with what the question was.
Oh, no worries. Just like what the process of transitioning them onto raw food
Transitioning,
is like.
right?
Yeah.
So so with puppies, yes, they wean right from mama's milk to raw food, and that looks a little bit different. That's part of the consultations aspect. Is like you don't want to just like feed your brand new puppy whatever, right? It has to be. I encourage it to be supported with somebody who can help you, right? Add in the right things, but yes, for lack of going on and on, they definitely can switch right to raw food from a puppy. And then with older dogs, sometimes there's a transition, but I always encourage people like, your dog. You
Yeah.
know if your dog can handle. And also if you do a shorter transition, like you can always pull back, right? And the main thing is like having support in doing that. Am I doing this right? Should I try a different protein? Do I need to add a probiotic? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
so yeah, the transition question is kind of like, you could go cold turkey most of the time, but
Gotcha.
sometimes
It's more
you
of like a
support.
case by case kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean,
makes sense.
so we already kind of touched on this, but like, what are some sort of like misconceptions or things people get wrong about raw dog food diets?
Yeah. Trying to think about how I want to answer this. Well, I think that it all comes from a really good place. We all want what's best for our families. That includes our animals, our pets, and the topic of raw can be scary because you think raw meat, you think immediately like bacteria, right? E. coli, salmonella. You think, what about the bone? Isn't that dangerous, right? So there's these different things of like the fear around raw feeding was more prevalent before. It's not as much now because of what pet foods have been doing to the raw food, because they've been making it a bunch of safe things, which are arguably not raw. But anyways,
Yeah, that's a whole nother
I
conversation.
digress. So, question again.
Oh,
Mom brain.
what are some misconceptions about raw
Misconceptions.
foods?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no worries.
So the fear around raw, misconceptions. So I'll start with where I was, like the bacteria question. It's kind of like a two-piece answer, right? So not too long ago, the prevalence of salmonella and E. coli, like the recalls for pet food, were more common in kibble and wet food for those things.
Huh.
Ironically, right? You think,
Yeah.
no, in the raw food, like the cooking kills the bacteria, right?
Yeah.
But the key there, and that's changed now because the FDA is going crazy on raw food. But but the key there is the sourcing. So anything that is not fit for human consumption is what goes into kibble and wet food. So I'm going to say that again. Anything that is not fit for human consumption is what goes into pet food.
That is
Jeez.
not good.
That means
Oh my gosh, that is horrible.
that means roadkill. That means animals that died other than, what is the wording on
Like
the FDA?
natural causes or something?
Yeah, other than by slaughter. So thinking like farm animals,
yeah,
right?
like not
they
raised
died
for-
in the cage because of some disease. They weren't slaughtered for consumption.
Yeah,
So that is the stuff that's going into pet food.
That's horrible.
that is.
That's horrible.
So sourcing is crucial.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense that those animals were infected with something, so the recalls could be more common, right? Even after you burn it to a crisp and then add a bunch of supplements in there. It's like it was still gross from the beginning.
Yeah,
It was still rotten.
absolutely.
And, low quality. So, but with raw food, again, not every raw food is created the same. But sourcing is still, if not even more critical, right? Where are you getting the meat from? Are you getting it locally? What's the processing time on it? And if you're getting it from a cleaner source, the animals that you're using the ingredients, they're a lot higher quality. They're a lot less likely to have those bacteria.
Yeah.
Now,
Definitely.
after that, after sourcing, it's like with the processing thing, it's like, how quickly you're freezing the food, how often it's made. At Pure Life Raw, everything is made to order, so we don't make it until you order it. And sourcing is coming from small farms up in Petaluma, California, and so it's all very, very fresh and very, very clean. Our dogs are eating
Gotcha.
better than us.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
was going to be my next question about
Definitely.
like the sourcing
Yeah.
of where you guys because you mentioned that seems like such a big part of the process and ensuring that it's like healthy for our dogs.
Yeah, sourcing is really important. I'm just sorry, my brain's popping.
You're good.
around.
No,
no worries,
it's
no
reminding me of
worries.
Fresh Fetch too. Like
Oh,
we
man.
say the same thing. We want it as fresh as possible. That's why
Yeah.
we source it very locally, and we have
Right.
it here, and it's shipped same day and
Yeah.
everything. And we're not packaging it until that order comes in and
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
So very similar.
Right, and
types
that's why I
of.
had questions for you when I first got here. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, the shipping, like it's a fresh product and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sourcing is super important. And again, forgot your question.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about misconceptions.
Misconceptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the other misconception we said was like, oh wait, and I had one more point about the bacteria stuff. That's what it was. Yeah. So on Salmonella and E. coli, the other factor to that is your dog is a carnivore. Your dog
yeah.
is built to withstand bacteria a lot better than us. Their digestive tract is less than half of ours.
Wow.
So everything that goes in goes out a lot faster. The acidity in their stomach is like, don't quote me on this, it's like 10 times, if not more, acidic than ours. So it kills bacteria. It's built to withstand it a lot better than ours. And so that's the other piece is that if your dog is exposed to Salmonella E. coli, not every time, but most of the time, they might get a bout of diarrhea. They might throw up the food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's
Their
not gonna
body
be-
knows how to react.
Exactly.
instantly.
Their body knows how to
interesting,
like
yeah.
get it out
Yeah.
and be done with
Yeah.
it, right? It's not like us where it's sitting in our digestive tract
Yeah,
for a
just
lot longer.
spreading or doing its
Right.
thing. Yeah, giving
Exactly.
it time. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are built tough down there. I
Yeah.
wish I could just
Seriously,
I know.
I need a dog's digestive.
I mean,
Oh
we
my
humanize
gosh.
them in like the best ways, right? Like
Yeah,
they're part of
yeah.
our family and they sleep in our beds and like we put them in cute little outfits, right? But like they're still a dog.
Yeah,
They
that's a
are
carnivore.
wolf.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a wolf. Yeah,
You
that stems
know,
from
like-
a wolf. That's a carnivore. It will eat us if it gets
Yeah.
hungry enough. Like
Yeah,
I've
so-
always seen. I saw something like that on social media years ago. Is like if you stopped feeding your dog for like a week, like obviously we're not condoning to stop feeding your
Right,
dog
yeah.
right now,
Please
but
don't.
like somebody was just going on the wolf thing. They're like, if you stop feeding your dog for like a week, maybe even less than that, it'll start looking at you like a piece of steak, like because that natural instinct will just kind of come back in. So I don't know if that's something you guys
Yeah, it's
hear
actually
too, but,
funny you
like,
say that too
that's-
because that's one of the things. I have this postcard. I should have brought it with me. I have like a myths busting postcard. I should have brought it.
Oh,
But
nice.
that's one of the things people think that their dog's going to turn into like this bloodthirsty hound and like come and eat them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, they're not. Like they don't want to eat humans.
Yeah,
we don't
exactly.
taste good.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want, like if more likely, if we all drop dead, right? Humans drop dead, apocalypse. The dogs are going to go hunt rabbits
Yep.
and quails
Yep.
and like anything that is species appropriate. They're
Yep.
going to
Yeah.
go hunt and kill something outside, right?
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
That's another myth. And then it's not, again, piggybacking off that, your dog's not going to want to eat you.
Yeah, just because it's getting a raw
Just 'cause
diet.
it's getting
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not.
It tasted blood.
Yeah,
No,
it's got
yeah,
its first
it doesn't
taste.
work like that.
like
They're
a
not
shark.
gonna
Like
wanna
you start
eat
bleeding,
you.
it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna smell my blood.
I've
No.
tested it actually. I've done a video. Actually, it's on our Instagram, I think, somewhere. And I'm like, see, I like cut my finger. I'm like, here, Zeus, here. And he's like, oh,
It's like, get that away
Yeah.
from me.
That's
Yeah.
not good. Like, yeah.
So were you? It's cool because like you're bringing a lot of like scientific sort of points.
Yeah.
Were you always kind of interested in that, like from the start, or like was that something that just developed through like, you know, you working through the company and
No, that's just who I am as a person. I am a researcher and I love to learn.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, always up to date on the new stuff. But honestly, most of the new stuff is ancient stuff, if you know what I mean. Like we're relearning
Yep. Yep.
this stuff. So
Yeah, we were going the wrong way for a while. Now it's kind of turning around, which is cool. So
Yeah, I don't know why we were going the wrong way, but that's another
that's
episode.
another podcast.
Yeah,
That's another episode.
Straight up.
Tune in for part 2.
Yeah.
We will be having it.
Yeah.
Where we went wrong.
Yeah, where we went wrong
Yeah.
as humans. Cool. So I feel like we kind of asked this one, but how do you start and ease people into their dogs into a raw food diet? I know you mentioned consultations and stuff. So is that kind of like a longer process, or you kind of knock that out in one day and just get familiar with your dog, or you know what's the process with starting someone on?
Yeah, so we do offer the consultation. It's a 30-minute consultation. That's for people who are kind of like either they don't know anything about raw, but they know they want to start and they just want to like pick my brain, get all their questions answered, or people, like I said, with puppies or multiple dogs. Like, how can I feed all of my dogs your food?
Yeah, that's a good one.
But like, let's say I'm at an event and people see our booth and they come over and like they're like, "Oh, I don't know about this," right? The way that I help them transition into it or like get warm up to the idea is really just like that common sense piece of like, hey, your dog's built for this. Like, what would they eat if we weren't here? You know, like
He's a wild animal. Well,
and
not wild. But
Yeah.
and then another big piece that people are like, I don't want to touch it. Like we have like people who are vegan and they're like, my dog, I get that I'm vegan, but I know my dog's not supposed to be. And I
Yeah.
really commend people for that because
Yeah.
there's vegan dog food and vegan cat food. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is neglect.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I
That
hate
is
when
not-
I hear people say, "Oh, my dog's vegan too," or it's
No.
it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like can we look at their teeth for a moment?
Yeah.
They don't have like we have a mouth like a cow. We chew, we go in circle motion, right?
Yeah.
To chew plant matter. Our dogs have an alligator mouth.
Yep.
With sharp razor teeth. They are only built to like shred and chew and rip apart meat. Every way you look at it,
Yeah.
it's like right there, right? So it's touching on those points with people, and then they're kind of like, oh, okay, I see and I get it, right? And then, yeah, the vegan thing, they're like, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to like have to like scoop it and like, ugh. And I'm like, okay, like look at our packaging. I would have a package here if I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Pretend
you just
we'll-
have to cut this open and pour it in the bowl, and like it's done, right? So,
There's
You don't
no
have to-
handling. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, like you just have to cut it open and put it in the bowl. It's
Wash
not
your
like
ha-
one of those like there's other things that come in like a bag, and then you have to like,
Yeah.
and like
possibly
the
get
That's cool.
tubes,
scoop
like
some
those
out.
those like fresh pet tubes, like
Oh, I hate the fresh pet tubes are rough,
stuff
man.
not
smells
a-
so
yeah.
bad.
I'm not
Yeah.
a vegan, but like sometimes even me like cooking chicken, you know, like raw chicken, I'm like, this is kind of nasty,
Yeah.
you know? So like that's
But,
cool. That
hey, just wash
Yeah.
your hands. You know,
Yeah.
if it touches, like just
Yeah.
wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another
you know.
myth too. Is that people are like,
Oh.
"What about my family? Like touching raw meat and da-da-da," like, and same thing that you do for your own family. And if you're plant based, then I get it, sure. Like, but same idea, right? Wash your hands. Use
Oh, yeah.
hot soapy water. If you're letting kids help you, wash their hands too.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And
Simple.
just check who you're sourcing from. Make sure it's clean
Yeah.
sourcing. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, we all learned wash your hands in what, like preschool,
Oh,
kindergarten. You know, so just
Well, like,
keep it going.
working at like restaurants, you have to take like the
Oh, the food handling, the
Certifications,
food
yeah.
handling
It's-
certification.
yeah.
Serve
Yeah.
safe
Exactly.
is
Yes.
the brand.
Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Done that. for
Yeah.
sure.
I've been in there a couple times.
Cool. So we actually found you through one of our other lovely guests, Stephanie. She feeds her dogs your food,
Yeah.
which is so cool. So one thing that she was telling us that actually like really kind of surprised me because I had no idea about this, but she was saying that it's important to kind of switch up the proteins that your dogs eat. So how did you come across that information, and like, you know, do you have any other like kind of tidbits regarding that?
Yeah, I also left this out earlier, but so when I left corporate world, I went back to school and studied animal nutrition, so that's important. And so that's where I learned it, right?
Yeah.
How important variety is, especially, I mean, in all of our diet, like humans, dogs, like it's important to get different varieties, right? So, but actually with dogs specifically, if you feed one protein, they're more likely to develop allergies down the road, which is actually weird because that's what we do a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, culturally, our dog likes the chicken recipe. That's all they get.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get the chicken recipe. They love it. That's it. Done.
I'm
right?
guilty of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it says on the bag, right? This is everything you need. You don't need to do anything else. And so I'm actually a big proponent of like, no, switch it up. The more variety, the better. The more, like macro and micronutrients you're getting by switching up the protein that you're using. In our food, in Pure Life Raw's food, we use 3 different types of organs. A lot of other raw foods are only doing 1 or 2. So we're getting 3 different types of organs in there: liver, kidney, and spleen. And then switching up the bones that you're using. So like we do raw turkey necks, we do raw chicken necks, we do duck frame bones. So also switching. So not only are you switching the protein, but you're switching the cut of the meat also.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so like thigh meat versus like trim versus, pork shoulder, they all have different fat contents and different micronutrients. So it's very important to switch up.
Yeah,
That's
that's so
very
interesting.
so I'm
Yeah,
just,
I've never heard that before.
yeah, that
and
was
then
Stephanie really opened our eyes about that. But yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, but I mean, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, like off camera, but like the allergy aspect of
Yeah.
it. Like we notice a lot of chicken allergies these days. It just seems to be like increasingly common.
Yeah.
Do you come across that a lot?
It's definitely a common fear, I would say. A lot of people just like assume if their dog has allergies, like my dog's allergic to chicken. Like
Yeah.
I just know it. And I'm not saying that's not true because it is the most common. But people are really afraid of chicken these days. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on. Like, let's take a look at this. Right. And so, again, 2 things with the chicken allergy. Number 1 is if you're feeding chicken and only chicken, it's definitely not ideal. Chicken
Right.
is higher in omega-6, so if you're not balancing that with omega-3, it's pro-inflammatory. So you want
Got
to
it.
be balancing that, which means either switching proteins. If you're only feeding a chicken recipe, it means like bare minimum adding in some fish. I say fish, not fish oil, because that's not great, but
Okay.
to
makes
balance,
sense.
because
That makes
fish is
sense.
high in omega-3. So it's all about
Yeah.
balance, right? So there's that piece. And then obviously sourcing.
Yeah.
Chicken recipes and stuff are more likely to have A, low quality chicken, and B, what are the other ingredients in the food? A lot of the time people are feeding a chicken kibble or a chicken wet food or a chicken cooked food. And they're pointing their finger at the chicken, but it's really the grains and the vegetables and the supplements that are
Yeah.
in the recipe. So a lot of the times when you're feeding a cooked version of a protein, they do fine with the raw version. So it's important to
That's so interesting.
go through trial and error with that.
Interesting. Do you
Yeah.
guys do like freeze dried food at all, or?
We don't. We do all raw food, and then our treats are dehydrated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dehydrated. Yeah, it's the best way to.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And off that topic too, I'm like thinking, how does that? I mean, it probably doesn't. They just eat whatever they want in the wild, right? So like, how does that apply? Of like, you got to change their proteins, but I'm assuming they would just change their proteins like back in there, like a wolf, like he,
Yeah.
eats a rabbit, eats a quail, and
And then
but
the seasons change, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like
That's what I
what's
was thinking.
available to them in the winter.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is
Is-
kind of that same process in a way. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned like 2 different parts of the
Right.
meat as
They're
well.
eating the whole thing, nose to tail. They're
yeah,
eating the whole
exactly. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to point to that too, is that like, yeah, there may be a months, right, where in theory this wolf is eating only rabbits and
Yep.
that's all he's getting, and then he's fasting a lot of the time, which is
Yeah.
also okay for our dogs, which we don't do,
Yeah.
which is natural for them to fast
Gotcha.
occasionally. But the point I was trying to make was, as it leaves my brain, is that as the seasons change, right, they'll get a different type of a meal, and they're also eating the entire thing, right? And we are looking at nature and trying our best to recreate that, but understanding that there is benefit in modern technology and modern knowledge, right? We can take that and make it better.
Yeah.
We can take what they would eat in the wild and marry the ancestry with the science to make it a complete and balanced diet, right? So we have that.
Yeah. No, hey,
To our advantage.
Shout out to human science and
Straight up.
using our brains to
It's
help.
not all bad.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely
exactly.
not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Definitely.
I just wanted to point that out because it's interesting, just all that, how it can be affected, and like that's a great way of putting it. Like you guys have pretty much mastered the best way to feed them and stuff, which is great. So yeah, I'm always fascinated by wolves. I mean, he saw Oakley. I mean, I swear, I think he's
You're a
got some
wolf?
wolf in.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got
a
some wolf in him,
100%.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We went camping this weekend, and there's, I don't know if you've heard, but like all the wolf packs that are back in California and stuff. And we went to Sequoia National Forest, and that's where one of them is residing right now. And I was just like. I was like, this
Holding your
is.
breath.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm used to bears because I go camping every summer. I'm just used
Yeah.
to bears and stuff. I was like, wolves are a different. That's a different
Stealth
beast.
mode.
Are we
Yeah,
meeting
stealth
some
mode.
family members?
No, yeah, that's right. So I went to the ranger station and like asked them, and I was like, "Hey, I know I might be freaking out, but," and they were just like, "No, don't worry about it. Like we had no sightings of these. They're staying up in the hills." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." I was like, "I have a shepherd that like kind of." They're like, "Oh yeah, they would take him in as his own, like for sure." And like showed her pictures. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, he looks exactly like him." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But they're so territorial too.
Exactly.
And, like,
I was gonna say probably all.
yeah, no, I was like,
take
that's
this guy out.
that's what I told her. I was like,
He's
it's
our
gonna be the
competition.
opposite. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
More food for us.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting too. It's really cool to see wolves coming back into California too, and
Yeah.
but scary at the same time because
Definitely scary. I wonder how it'll affect
the food chain.
yeah. The farmers and stuff.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest struggle right
We'll
now.
see.
Actually, is like a lot of the farmers up in the Bakersfield, Sequoia area,
Yeah.
Central California and stuff. They're getting hit hard. They're like it's helping with the coyotes.
Oh, right.
But
then
our cattle's gone, our pigs are gone. Like
wolf.
they just come out to a bloodbath on their property
Oh,
because
my
the pack
gosh.
came and just did what they
I know,
wanted,
and it's
and
like, how do we mitigate that?
yeah, and
That's crazy.
It's from our meddling.
exactly
humans.
right. And I don't even know what they're doing anyway. Like
Yeah.
they could be. It's been 100 years. Like, what's their goal? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, are
Yeah.
they here to just hunt like they used to, or are they here to do something else? Like, we don't know. And
Yeah.
even the ranger station, like, we don't have enough research on them. We don't really know what they're doing either. And it's like, okay, that's even scarier.
I
like,
know.
yeah, they're tagged, but like, what are they gonna?
Yeah.
So
We won't know for years.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Until we can look back.
Yep,
you know?
exactly. So, yeah, sorry to go off on a different topic there. But, I guess it's dogs and food and stuff. But cool. So, moving along, for someone wanting to do a DIY, their raw food, what precautions should they take, or would you recommend them to take?
Yeah. Do your research.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, a proponent of like, you should just feed your dog raw food, period. Like, you should. But you should do
There's
your
that.
research. You should, if you have no idea what you're doing, get some guidance, read some. There's great books out there. There's a book called The Forever Dog. That's a wonderful book. It has a lot of DIY recipes in there that you can follow. Follow some holistic veterinarians, and just take some time to like read up on it, right? And look for good resources. Primal Pooch is another good resource. And if you're lucky to find somebody who does consultations, like me,
Hit her
do
up.
a consultation, right? So, because that's like, if you're like, I really don't want to do all of this and I just want somebody to set it up for me, consult's a great thing to do. But for somebody who's like, I want to start this and like really know what I'm doing, yeah, pick up a good book, get in a good resource. There's a great documentary called The Truth About Pet Food. And so I'd start there, and then with things to be cautious about, gosh, I mean,
Sourcing.
you guys are in marketing.
Maybe sourcing.
Yeah.
Look through the marketing,
Yeah.
like read between the lines if you can. I'm trying to think of if I can highlight like 3 things to look for in a raw food. I'd say they're all debatable though. That's why I'm like, but my 3 things, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
the
yeah.
guest. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
absolutely.
This is my expertise.
Take it away.
The 3 things are make sure to ask if the pet food does HPP. HPP is high pressure pasteurization. It means putting the food in a chamber that puts it under like 80,000 psi. This is like talking 10 times the depth of the ocean.
Yeah, that's
to
insane.
kill bacteria.
Yeah.
That's no longer a raw food product.
Yeah.
All the bacteria is dead, good and bad. So
Gotcha.
HPP, while it does make the food quote unquote safer, it arguably makes it not raw. So I would look for no HPP, no vegetables or vitamin premixes in the food. I feel like I have to say why.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
expand.
no veggies.
No veggies and no premixes in the food. Why? Because some dogs do good with vegetables and some don't. If they should have vegetables at all, they should be, in my professional opinion, they should be fermented vegetables. Because if a dog in the wild was going to eat vegetables at all, it would be inside the rabbit's stomach already digested. Vegetables are really common allergens, and they cause discomfort in dogs.
Interesting.
They go under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not to say you should not feed your dog. Like,
Yeah.
Zeus gets carrots every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Like, he does fine with it.
But that's kind of going back to the vegan stuff we were talking about. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, oh, no, they're carnivores. Like,
right.
you know.
That should
yeah.
be primary, right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for raw food without vegetables, without synthetic vitamin premixes. Why? Because again, with those, they can be low quality vitamin mixes. They a lot of the times have too much. And so let's say you have your raw food, it's covering all your bases, right? But like maybe, you can't feed lamb because it's too high in fat, and then you need to fill in a gap there, right? You don't want to use a vitamin premix that just has like a crap load of everything, because then you may be giving them too much. So I always recommend doing a brand with no supplements, because you can add in things to your dog's diet if you want to supplement with whole foods. So like eggs or fish or, fermented veggies if you want to do that. So no HPP, no veggies or premixes of vitamin mixes. And, I had a different answer, but I think I'm going to go with like, stay local, like go for a small company, because they're the ones who are doing it right and doing it with like everything behind them.
Yeah.
And the bigger companies are just making it cheaper. They're doing anything that they can to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
no, definitely. I think it's like a passion thing too,
Right.
like you're passionate about it, and you're passionate about the health of dogs too. Whereas these big companies, maybe they're not so concerned with that as much as like
right.
making money.
And
Yeah.
you took your own time to get educated on this topic too and stuff, and really showing your customers that,
Right.
I took you care, versus the big pharma, I guess, big pet food companies, are just trying to make the buck and
and cutting corners wherever they
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
And I know almost all my clients. Obviously, we ship nationwide. We have clients across the country, but we know our clients and we have their best interest, right? And so, I'd say like go for a smaller company that isn't cutting corners, that you can talk to somebody and ask the questions. Ingredients are super important. Making sure there's whole cut meats ingredients in the food. Make sure like when you read on the label, does it say bone, but not specifically which bone? Because that probably means that it's bone dust. It's some sort of synthetic powder, right?
Gotcha.
So, So those three. No HPP, no veggies or premixes, and shop local, shop small.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
We love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. I feel like I'm ready to jump on. Or not me personally, but my dog. And I'm
No, I was like, we'll be talking after this. And
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
definitely
for
come get
sure.
a consultation with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's huge, holistic, human side and dog side too.
Yeah.
So she was the one who really was like, I think we need to put him on a raw diet. He's a wolf, so we'll be coming by for sure.
Sounds great.
It's
I look
cool.
forward
And
to it.
then, did we want to ask one more? I think best experience.
Yeah.
Maybe we get
absolutely.
Zeus.
So
Zeus can show his face a little more.
Zeus, come here.
Absolutely.
He's a
We wanna do
sleepy
a
boy. Yeah.
Zeus
Oh, a
focus.
sleepy boy.
Watch this. Yeah.
He's like, wait, we're still
Oh,
doing
yeah.
this? Yeah. He's like, we're
The
still
treats come out.
we're still doing this.
Mr. Zeus. He's a handsome guy.
What are we doing?
Got to show some face. So, a question that we like to ask all of our guests, especially the ones, who bring their dogs on. What is your most memorable experience with Zeus?
Oh, that's a good one. We have taken him so many places and done so many things. And I think my favorite, it has to be taking him on camping trips, like to the river, and just seeing him like be a free, frolicking dog. I have this image in my brain. We were up in the Sequoias Quaking Aspen campground.
Nice. Kern?
And
Kern
no,
River?
it's close to Kern.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close to Kern. But and him just frolicking through the forest like a free wolf.
Yep.
So for
That's
sure,
so-
like taking him camping. He's our
Yeah.
road dog through and through.
That's awesome.
Yeah, put
Yeah.
him in the natural
Yes.
habitat. and
Just
let
letting him be
Yep.
himself.
That's awesome. That is the best. Yeah, free
Yeah.
and a dog, a wolf, a dog. Yeah, Zeus.
You're a good boy, Zeus.
You
Awesome.
can have your
Well,
treat now.
thank you very much for joining the Potty Talk podcast. We really appreciate it, and you gave a lot of great information. So,
Yeah.
everybody listening, wherever you're tuning in, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, drop a comment. If you have any questions, it sounds like we might have a part 2 with you. We could definitely keep talking about this stuff. So if you have any questions for her, please drop them in the comments. Check out Pure Life Raw Food in Camarillo, and then also follow them on social media. Follow us at Fresh Patch on every social media. If you want to give a little shout out for yours,
Yeah.
go ahead.
At Pure Life Raw, Facebook, Instagram, Google. Yeah. Come find us.
Heck yeah.
Come find them, get that consultation.
Most
Like she said, they do ship nationwide as well. So if you're not in Southern California, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got you covered. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
appreciate it. And
Definitely. I just want to say thank you because, we obviously work with, dog potty, and it sounds like what you're doing is making the dog's potty a little bit healthier, which
Yeah.
helps us out too.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yep, less messes on the patch.
There you
Yes.
go.
with the raw food diet.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
cool. Well, yeah, thank you, and thanks to everyone else for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Potty Time Podcast, brought to you by Fresh Patch. We hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a like or a follow, or shop all of our real grass supplies at freshpatch.com.